Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Bishara with Travel with Bishara, and right now I'm just standing outside of the Church of St. Joseph. This here church goes by 3 different names, and we're going to be discussing that later on. However, I would like to thank you for tuning in back to my channel, and right now I'm actually standing between 2 different churches, the Church of St. Joseph and the Basilica of the Annunciation. In fact, this is actually a follow-up to my first video when I did a video 53 minutes long about Nazareth. Now, there were several sites which I had to leave out due to COVID. They had closed many different churches, and the Church of St. Joseph was one of them. Even though they're on the same grounds, but to prevent many people from entering and of course spreading the disease, spreading the virus, they had to close different places, they had to close different churches, different sites. So I'm happy to say that they reopened it, and I'm going to show you the church and of course the home of the Holy Family later on. So as I've mentioned, I'm just outside of the Church of St. Joseph. Behind me, the statue of St. Joseph, a statue of St. Joseph. And we're going to be discussing about what was the role of St. Joseph and what actually he felt after learning that Mary was pregnant. So later on during the video, you're going to see that I'm located in the center between the Church of St. Joseph and the Basilica of the Annunciation. There's not a big distance, ladies and gentlemen. And that's an indication, and that shows the visitor who comes here of how small this village was. Today, Nazareth is a city. It has a population over 100,000, more than 100,000 in fact. But during the lifetime of Christ, according to the Franciscans, they excavated this site right over here, and they found several homes. And I would like to emphasize on the word several homes here in Nazareth. And according to their studies, they believe that the total population did not exceed more than 250 people at maximum. So this shows you how small of a village this actually was. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us begin. So that's the Basilica right over there. We walked, I guess, less than a minute, a few seconds, 30-40 seconds. And we went up these here stairs. And we're heading to the Church of the Holy Family, which is right over there at the end behind the tree. Now, as we're walking, take a look at this statue right over here. This is the statue of St. Joseph. And if you look at his face, it's quite sad. The artist who designed this here statue wanted to depict the feelings and the emotions of St. Joseph at the moment when he had decided to leave Mary in secrecy. And down here below, engraved to the stone, is the verse taken from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 1, verse 20. Joseph, son of David. Now, of course, the verse is in Latin, but the translation is the following. Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for she is pregnant with the Holy Spirit, or in her womb is from the Holy Spirit. So, ladies and gentlemen, immediately after that, this noble man, he decided to take Mary as his wife, and this is where they lived, according to tradition, after they came back from Egypt. So as we're walking to the church, I would like to inform everyone that this here church goes by 3 names. There are 3 official names to this church. The Church of the Holy Family, the Church of St. Joseph, and the third one, the Church of St. Joseph's Workshop. The entrance is from over there. The exits is on the other side, right over there. As you can see, this is actually the plan of the entire complex and both churches, including the school and the monastery itself. So in the prior video, we entered the Basilica from the west, And we went inside of the grotto, which is in the first floor. After that, we headed up to the upper floor, the second floor, and there we spoke about the Day of Judgment. This is the monastery and also a high school called the Terra Santa, the Holy Land High School. Actually, it was a high school, but today it begins from kindergarten up to grade 12. And at the end, right over here, this is actually the Church of Saint Joseph. As you can see, according to the red dot, I'm standing right over there. All right. So this church was built in the year 1914, ladies and gentlemen. And it was built actually on top of the ruins of the prior church, which was built in the 12th century. And down beneath, they found many water cisterns and many caves, and several caves. And it's believed to be used by the early Christians that welcomed Jesus into their life and converted into Christianity. They converted, many of them converted right over here. And I'm going to show you later on the water cistern and the baptisterium. So in the second floor, I'm not allowed to speak, but we're going to enter and I'm going to show you the interior of the church. Getting ready for Christmas. Jesus and Mary with Saint Joseph during his elderly days. Joseph and Mary with Jesus the boy. Joseph having a dream. The dream of that he shouldn't be afraid to take Mary as his wife. Beautiful stained glasses. All right. So we're going to be heading down to the grotto, to the cave. So once you go down to the grotto, you can see that on the walls they hung up, the Franciscan friars had hung up several posters. This here poster, right over here, it shows the visitor exactly the different layers of the church and the cave, for the church was built on top of the cave, which you can see at the bottom. Now, we are standing, as you can see, we were at the second floor, the modern church, and we're standing in the first floor. And here, archaeologists uncovered a ritual bath, a Jewish ritual bath. It was used by the 1st century BC Jews, where they used it for purification. Eventually, the Christians, or the Judeo-Christians that embraced Christ as or Jesus as their Christ, as their Messiah, converted into Christianity by baptism. And where did they do it? They did it inside of the ritual bath. And you can see at the bottom is actually the cave. Now, once again, it was not unusual for people to live in caves back then. It was a cheaper alternative. Beautiful stained glass right over here of Mary and Jesus beside Joseph at his deathbed. Unfortunately, because of the sun, I don't think it's that clear. Let me see if I can position the camera. Maybe just a little. All right. Right over here, you can see see the cave, the actual rock. Pilgrims from all over the world, they wrote lots of petitions and prayers and threw it down to the cave. Joseph and Mary, let me see. And this is the ritual bath which I spoke about, eventually used by the first converts to Christianity, where they were baptized and embraced Christ. And also they found here lots of caves and also water cisterns, which they used. Instead of heading to the well every day, they gathered the rainwater inside of these cisterns. It's quite massive. Unfortunately, they turned off the lights, but it's quite massive. And the entrance to St. Joseph's workshop, according to tradition, the home of the Holy Family. So these are the steps which lead down to the workshop of St. Joseph, or the home of the Holy Family. Hence, this is called the Church of St. Joseph. All right, guys, so right now we have come to a conclusion of our visit at the Church of St. Joseph. As I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this video, this here church has 3 official names. The first one being the Church of St. Joseph, the second one, the Church of the Holy Family, and the third one, the Church of St. Joseph's Workshop. Now, before I end this video, I would like, of course, to give you an idea. If you ever want me to go to a certain place and give you a tour about a certain topic or a certain place, I'm happy to do it, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is let me know in the comment section below. So before I leave, I would like to also request something else. Please help me grow my channel by subscribing, liking my channel, liking my videos and the content, and leaving comments below. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making this video. And from Nazareth, from the Church of St. Joseph, from the Church of the Holy Family, and from the home of the Franciscans here in Nazareth, it's a see you later. Thank you very much.